is Anitha, or Anu. You can call me either one. That works just fine with me. I am the founder of Whispers and Fringes, which is a group dedicated to empowering women in their faith. And we do that through writing, teaching, and community Bible study. So I'm here with my faithful coffee mug. I'm not sure if this really counts as a mug, but it's what I use every single day, twice a day. So this might mean that I have some other issues that we need to talk about later, because that's a lot of coffee. But I am so thankful that I get a few minutes to spend with all of you. And I wanted to talk to you from the book of Ruth. It's one of the shortest, but I would say sweetest books of the Bible. So the primary character of the book is Ruth, obviously, but there's also another woman in the story named Orpah. So Orpah was Ruth's sister-in-law, and tragically, both of their husbands died. So at that point, they were faced with a decision. Either they could go with Naomi, their mother-in-law, back to her hometown of Bethlehem, or they could stay right where they were in their hometown of Moab. So this was a very literal crossroads for them and a really big decision. So we see that Orpah decides that she is going to stay. And you know what? You can't really blame her. Because again, this was her home, her people, and they all worshiped the same God. And really, Naomi and Ruth weren't even technically related to her anymore. But here's what we know. One commentator put it this way, that Orpah walks off the pages of Scripture, never to be heard from again. The only time I've heard of Orpah is when someone asked Oprah Winfrey, where did you get your name from? And yes, it was from this character of the Bible, just spelled a little bit differently. So what about Ruth? Ruth actually makes the decision to go to Bethlehem with Naomi. So a new home, a new people, and a new God. But as you keep reading through Scripture, what you see is that Ruth ends up in the genealogy of Jesus Christ. There are some decisions we make that will impact a moment, and other decisions we make that will define our lives. I know for me, and this was a while ago, I was at a crossroads where I had to make a choice about marriage. And I actually had two choices. One of them was going to be a little bit easier and I wouldn't have to wait. And the other one was, there was just some challenging circumstances around it and I would have to wait a little bit longer. And they were both good choices. So I was genuinely confused. So I asked a pastor for some advice, and here's what he said. He said, you need to trust more in God's ability to lead you than your ability to follow. And I remember really taking that to heart, and I just kept fasting and praying. And then I would say through some divine circumstances, I felt like God led me to actually choose the more difficult path. And thankfully, though, I can say that 20 years later, I know I made the right decision. And I'm so thankful for my husband, Lance, who I am married to. So some of you may be at that type of crossroads too, where you have some really big decisions to make, maybe about your college or your career or maybe even marriage. But here's what I also know, that there are decisions we make every single day that may not seem like that big of a deal, but that can actually have a pretty big impact on our lives. Like, what are we choosing to watch, and who do we listen to? Who are the people that we allow in our lives to surround us as friends? Those are all really important. So here's my encouragement to you, is that, sometimes it's easier, to make certain choices, and it's nice and it's simple. But then sometimes the harder choice is the better choice. So I want to encourage you to really seek God and seek His will. And if you feel like He is leading you to a choice that may be even just a little bit more challenging, do it. Because the fact is that you won't walk that journey alone. God will be with you every step of the way. I hope that encourages you. God bless you.